Namaste. This is David Hawthorne at astroview.com. Today's the 11th of July 2017. So yesterday on July 10th at 4 p.m. there was a plane crash. It was a K-130 Marine plane. Crashed near Jackson, Mississippi. So like 16 servicemen were killed. I think 15 Marines and 1 Navy. So I was trying to get the time that the plane left Cherry Point, but it's not listed anywhere. So I did a chart for the time of the crash. So this gives the Libra rising sign, 7th sign, Libra, which it happens to be an air sign. This was an air crash. Venus rules Libra, and it's in the 8th house of accidents and death-like experiences, transformations and vulnerability. The main period ruler was Moon, and the sub-period ruler was Rahu, northern node of the Moon. It would have changed to Moon Jupiter in August, but this is the Mahadasha and Antradasha, main period and sub-period. So Moon in this chart is well placed at 13 degrees in the 4th house of Capricorn, but it's opposite Mercury. And Mercury for Libra rules the 12th house, a Dustan Bhava, inauspicious house. So Mercury becomes a functional malefic planet. In this case, it's known as the most malefic planet. So at 14 degrees, its 7th aspect is clearly afflicting Moon at 13 degrees. Mercury rules 12th house, losses, separations, end of life. But that's not the only problem for Moon, main period. You see this rising sign degree? This is not an arbitrary number. It's very specific to the exact time. This changes every 4 minutes of the day. So assuming it was around 5 minutes before or 5 minutes after 4. This most effective point puts Rahu and Ketu close to the most effective point, because the most effective point would start at 24 degrees and go up to 4 degrees in the next sign. So it'd be 29, 30, 0. So Rahu and Ketu are within that 5-degree orb. Now the influence of Ketu is not here, and the influence of Rahu is not here. It's 0 degrees. So you go back to the most effective point of this house. There's the 29 degrees right here. Just forget about these lines. There's no line in the zodiac. Just think about degrees. So Ketu was very close to 29 degrees here, and Rahu was very close to 29 degrees here. So Rahu was afflicting the house where Mercury, the most malefic planet, was sitting, and Ketu was here afflicting the 4th house of Capricorn, where Moon is sitting. So Ketu is bothering the Moon, and Rahu sitting here is bothering the Moon. Unexpected calamities and Ketu's explosions. And Rahu was the operating planet, so the operating planet stepped in here. Mars ruling the military is in old age degrees and weak. But Ketu sitting here at 0 degrees and Rahu, well, no, that wouldn't bother. It wouldn't be a Ketu issue here. But that's weak. Jupiter ruling the self-initiatives is up here in the 12th house, which is also losses, expenses, hospitalization, end of life. And Saturn is weak in old age degrees. So I think primarily the problem was Venus ruling the chart in the 8th house of death and accidents. And then Rahu and Ketu were actually afflicting 6 of the 12 houses. When planets are close to the rising sign degree, they have an impact where they occupy and where they aspect. So Rahu sitting here was afflicting the 10th house of karma, career and professional life. Its 5th aspect was afflicting the house of continuation of family life, so caused discontinuation of family life. Rahu and Ketu were both afflicting the 4th house, which is not only property, happiness, and home life, but it's also conveyances, which means transportation. And Rahu sitting here was afflicting this 6th house, which is enemies. And it's also connected with accidents. Ketu's influence out of this house, afflicting the house of conveyances, and its 5th, 7th, and 9th aspects were also causing trouble. The 5th aspect was afflicting the house where Venus occupies, ruling the chart, and the 8th house of accidents and death-like experiences. Ketu was afflicting the 10th house of professional life, the field of karma. Ketu was afflicting the 12th house of losses. That also undermined the strength of Jupiter, Saturn, Moon, Venus, and Mercury. So that's why it was a complete tragedy. Our hearts and prayers, of course, goes out to the family members, friends and family members. Namaste.